frame of mind that is fit and ready to go and give their very best. And there's a lot of them, yes, an awful lot of staff there nowadays, but they've all got a significant part to play.
They line up to create a guard of honour for the very players that day on day, week on week, they support. Nicely choreographed, this in front of the South Stand here at the Amex Stadium, so that very naturally the away supporters have the best view of what is going to occur. And the next thing they will see is what they came to see. That is to say, the Premier League trophy. It's been brought on here by Zara Malik, an 18-year-old who is several months into her Manchester City community coaching degree. And she is a volunteer with City in the community who has been selected for her unheralded contribution to that club's efforts within its own home environment. And she is accompanied here by Claudia Arney, the interim chair of the Premier League, who is on hand for its handing over. What a beautiful day for those blue ribbons and for that sunshine glimmering. It's worth winning that. And now the 8-man management team, the immediate lieutenants of Guardiola, who has spoken very publicly about the extent to which he leans on them, not just, Andy, in tactical moments, in the tense moments of match play, but simply for friendship in what can be a very lonely job.
Correct, emotionally, Peter, he has to lean on these people. Occasionally they have to pick the manager up. You know, the manager has moments and times of doubt when things aren't going quite so well, and these are the people that he sees and that he turns to, and they give him the support. The likes of Brian Kidd there has been around, of course, for many years. Mikel Arteta, it's still quite new for him, but what an amazing job they've all done.
This guy is a genius. He is a genius. He wins and he wins again. This year it has been no romp, no procession. This time every moment mattered. Every week was heavy with jeopardy. Every sinew was strained. And every question which was asked, he answered. Guardiola, pretty close to unparalleled in the history of English football. 198 points in the last 2 seasons. And here are the other reasons why he collects his medal. He might reflect as his stars appear behind him on Raheem Sterling's opener at Arsenal on August the 12th, on those 3 Aguero hat-tricks, on the Mahrez penalty miss at Anfield, and then his Wembley winner against Spurs 3 weeks later. On that uncertain December, defeats at Chelsea and Palace and at Leicester. On that key victory over Liverpool and Leroy Sané's winning goal. A 6-0 thumping of Chelsea in February, which suggested they'd hit their stride again. And then these 14 wins in a row to get home. Those 3 centimetres at Burnley, Kompany's clobber against Leicester, all part of an extraordinary narrative.
Yeah, amazing. They're just setting the bar even higher, Peter. They're raising different standards, newer standards now. That you want to beat this team, this group, this club, then you're going to have to produce something quite incredible, because they're not going to stop here. They're going to continue to want to win and win their own way, and again set just different benchmarks for everybody to try and step up to.
And here they do step up one by one, beginning with Ederson, who was beaten today and deprived therefore of a golden glove, but my goodness me, he's not been beaten very often in recent times. Carl Walker, remember his screamer of a goal against Newcastle. Danilo's not been able to play as often as he would have wanted because of injury, but he's got the final few moments of the campaign today and he has his medal. John Stones, the Barnsley boy, doing it for a second successive season, having come to Manchester from Merseyside, where today the mood is very different. And when others might have panicked, it was Aymeric Laporte who on the day came through a crowd of players and headed them into that settling lead.
Yeah, what a season he's had. Amongst injuries and others around him that haven't quite been able to produce it, Laporte has been so regular and so consistent with all of his work.
Another who, sadly for him, has had to miss out on the really climactic moments, Fabian Delph, but what a willing understudy he's been in a couple of different positions. Nicolas Otamendi, who has been permed in and out of that centre-half selection. Alexander Zinchenko, who came out of the shadows to play the last 5 games in a row for Manchester City at left full-back. And with Benjamin Mendy's fitness always an issue, you wonder whether he might become a permanent fixture. And when the cake needed icing today, looked like Gundogan stepped up.
Oh, he did. What a goal. What a beautiful goal. And very, very typical of him. A free kick struck with such accuracy and precision.
Mind, a few of the games were quite tight at the end of the season, and Phil Foden's winner against Tottenham over the course of the last month, early in that game, counts for a lot. And he, of course, critically is one of their own. And here is Raheem Sterling, who has grown this season into one of the most important individuals in English football.
Yeah, he has had an outstanding season. Works exceptionally hard. He's a brilliant, brilliant example to anybody, Raheem Sterling.
He spoke with such maturity at the Football Writers Association dinner on Thursday, where he claimed his prize. Perhaps the most important goal of the entire season was Leroy Sané's winner against Liverpool, without which the medals would be handed out elsewhere today. And it shows what an extraordinary season it has been that Bernardo Silva wasn't even in the top 2 or 3 for Player of the Year, because he would be Player of any other year.
Yes, he's been absolutely wonderful, he really has. He works so hard. Bernardo Silva has been a key factor in this City win.
Riyad Mahrez now a champion with 2 different clubs, and he scored a special goal to crown his special day. A year ago on this day, it was Gabriel Jesus who stepped up to take them to 100 points. He didn't get the chance to impact on this special afternoon, little matter. And Kevin De Bruyne has been, for his liking, too often absent this year. But he's back, and there's a cup final still to come. Beware. Will he ever stop? Today, his 231st goal for Manchester City. It took him 81 seconds of a front at being behind to smash them level. They've had to cope at times without Fernandinho in this campaign, but still there's only one of him.
Yeah, all the talk, of course, is how eventually they replace Fernandinho. Well, Gundogan has done an exceptional job when he's had to, but that'll be something to keep your eye on.
Say again how privileged we are to live through the career of David Silva, who remains the painter of some of the prettiest pictures in football.
Yeah, just think he actually gets better with every season, David Silva. He might be getting older, but he's certainly getting better.
And maybe in truth, when it's all weighed up and boiled down, the definitive moment occurred when one Monday night in May, The captain ignored all noises off and put his right boot through a 25-yarder against Leicester and blasted City to the edge of glory. For weeks and months, perfection has been demanded in this title race, and they have delivered perfection. At the climax of one of the great title races in Premier League history, still, the champions in 2019 are Manchester City. One further cup final victory away from an unprecedented domestic treble. Champions for the second year running, for the fourth time in 8 years, for the sixth time in their history, and they prevailed at the wire. Liverpool so nearly reeled them in, but they are not for reeling in. And Andy Townsend, it is going to take something extraordinary from someone somewhere, who knows where, ever to catch these guys up.
It's so true. It really is, Peter. And, you know, we ought to be saying thank you to Manchester City. All of us that love Premier League football, all of us that watch it here and all around the world, because they have served up something truly special. Wonderful football, week in, week out. Relentless in their pursuit of winning the title the way that they believe it should be won. Playing great football, fast football, the sort of football that we love here in the UK and that is so appreciated around the world. They've done it their way, and this is a very, very special group of players that I'm sure are going to do it again.
Well, last year they achieved 100 points. This year they were too shy of that, but by 1 point, they had enough. And Manchester City are the first team for a decade to defend the Premier League title. They have been special. Indeed, it has been a privilege to watch them do it. Champions again, Manchester City Football Club.
Last two seasons, 198 points, 206 goals. Last season they did it at a canter. Perhaps, Ryan, when you're pushed like this, like you've been in this position, does it feel a little bit sweeter to go to the last day, right to the wire?
Yeah, that's the best feeling. You know, if your league's over with 3 or 4 games to go, it's not like this where you win it. And you just don't know before the game, even though everyone's expecting you to do it. You know, you've seen today they got a little bit of a scare. So to do it to the last game, it is that little bit sweeter.
And when you get your hands on the trophy, eventually you did it on the final day as well. Is that the moment as a player you savour when you've grown up wanting to be a footballer?
Yeah, I think it's the dream. But obviously for these guys and for us that year, there was a Champions League. You know, a week later or whatever, they've obviously got an FA Cup. So you know they're setting the standards really. And I think the next season you just wonder. You know, obviously they had 2 losses. No, they lost 4 this year, didn't they? I mean, next season, could their next goal be to try and go undefeated? Because literally, they're that good. You could argue that they could arguably somehow do better next season. I don't see them losing 4 games next season.
And of course, they keep making records. They've still got the domestic treble to complete. No team's done that. None of the great managers have done that.
No, and it's another step forward for them and the manager. They'll be big favourites for the game, of course they will be, and rightly so. But you know, the numbers that they're just racking up are really, really impressive, aren't they? And they deserve everything they get because, as we said, they're a great team to watch as well. More importantly, they play the right style of football. They've got a really good way about them, and they're very impressive winners this year.
Let's sample the atmosphere at the Amex. Shay Given's been there all day. Of course, he's right in amongst the terrific scenes behind you, Shay.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic to be here, Steve. I mean, the great scenes we've seen at this time last year as well. But as the boys said in the studio, they had to fight harder this year, more than ever. And it's just great to see them lift the trophy, to be honest. You know, so just over my shoulders, you can see. And, you know, Pep Guardiola and his staff are just clapping them onto the stage. And it's just great scenes with all the City fans down as well from Manchester. You know, what a day for them.
Absolutely. As Ryan was saying, to do it away from home sometimes feels that bit sweeter because you've got those hardcore supporters. They made all that noise, although they weren't making the noise when Glenn Murray scored.
They weren't nervous at that point, but Now these fans have travelled up and down the country, home and away, and as Giggsy says, like the away fans at most clubs are the best, and they've seen it all. I mean, this is a fantastic era they're seeing. The players, this brand of football, the management, the players on the pitch are some of the best we've seen in the Premier League. So I think they're very, very lucky.
And indeed, this group of players that we've seen pushed right to the limit this season.
I think Steve Nash made it such a great title race. That's why every week we'll be talking about Liverpool, and it's just fantastic that it's gone to the last day. And of course, Man City are showing why they're champions. Back-to-back winners.
And that man Vincent Kompany we've spoken about 4 times. He's now lifted that trophy in the Premier League. Only John Terry's done it more.
Yeah, well, I think John's done it 5 times, so I think Vinny Kompany will be maybe looking to stay about next year if he can pick it up again next season. But he is Mr. Manchester City. What a fantastic captain, what a fantastic leader in that change room, and hopefully he'll stick around for a bit longer.
And the domestic treble, you'd be amazed that they didn't complete that now.
Well, it'd be the first team to do it, and why not? The brand of football, especially second half today, they were fantastic today, and I'm sure they'd love to lift the FA Cup on Saturday for sure.
What was that second half like? Because they came out, didn't show any nerves, did they?
No, I think whatever Pep said at half time was just calm down, keep playing football. And when that third goal went in, you could see that he even played more after that. There was a bit more sort of freedom to play and relax into the game, of course. And the fourth came off fantastic, couple of goals second half, and just you could see on the bench the lads were all just at ease and high-fiving each other and stuff, just enjoying the rest of the day.
Famous fans watching on. We've just seen a shot with Pep Guardiola there and his army of staff. He's big on that, isn't he? The coaching staff, you know that.
I think it's a separate plane for the staff coming down today, but there's a huge backroom staff, and obviously the resources they have behind that as well. But it's a fantastic club. No stones left unturned, and Pep and his staff I'm sure will celebrate tonight as well in style.
And these scenes, he doesn't tire of as well, Pep Guardiola. And just a word for him, we've mentioned only
what he's done to the
Messi, Ferguson and Mourinho have done it.
Well, what he's done to the football club, to the Premier League, he's brought such an aura about him. He's a winner, he's a leader, he's a champion, and you'd just love to work with him for a season and see what his magic methods are. And these fans are singing Wonderwall now, and Pep Guardiola is fantastic to be part of this club.
And for anyone who doesn't know, that is your karaoke scene as well, Shay, isn't it? So you can go and join in.
It might come out later, Steve. Let's see what happens.
Terrific moments at the Amex. And as you rightly say, Owen, you'd be a brave man to bet against this again in 12 months' time.
No, they've set the standard. I mean, just wonder who's going to be there next season. It was Liverpool this year. It'd be interesting if they could do it again, but where are the others? Where Chelsea and United and Tottenham? These guys have set the standard. Who's going to find a way to keep up?
Well, I think we can go back to the Amex now. Our karaoke star, Shay Given, is with Ika Gundogan.
Congratulations.